Umarex. Now this is a pretty thick magazine, and Umarex has a heck of a lot of stuff in this book, and I'm not going to go over all of it, but I will highlight on a couple of things. The gauntlet is one that has really been turning a lot of heads because of the lower price, and I can't think off the top of my head what it is, but lower price and everything that it comes with. So the gauntlet is definitely one to keep your eye on. I also saw this Umarex fuel, and one of the things that caught my eye on it was the bipod that's folds up right into the stock. The Steel Force from Umarex, granted it's a BB gun, a CO2, dropout CO2 magazine, so you're going to be feeding it CO2s and you're shooting BBs. So if you get this one, be careful of ricochets and stuff like that. But what caught my eye about it was it's semi-auto, and it's also 6-shot burst full auto. And that's pretty darn cool. I like that burst fire instead of just full on, full auto, blowing BBs all over the place, which is fun in its own right. This one's got a 6-round burst to it, and I think that's really cool. Kind of keeps you on target a little bit better. The Legends Cowboy Rifle. As you can see here, it's only 410 feet per second, so slow shooter. But I kind of liked it more of on a teaching type style for a youngster coming up, because it uses these cartridges, and you load your BB into the cartridge, and then you load the cartridge into the rifle. And then when you actually shoot and cycle the rounds, it ejects the cartridge. So I just thought that was kind of a neat little concept for that, and I think it holds 10 rounds and is CO2 powered. But I just kind of liked the concept there. It was kind of neat. So it stuck out to me anyway. The new power piercing pellets from RWS and Umarex. Reminds me of the Predator Polymag. Like I said, Umarex has a lot. I was pretty surprised at just how many different guns there are in this magazine. A lot of stuff in there. Over at the MTC booth, I saw all their lineup of scopes. They make very high quality scopes and very clear, and I like them a lot. And they have mostly traditional style scopes, but then they've got the Viper Pro. If you're not familiar with the Viper Pro, it has a special top turret that kind of takes a lot of the thinking out of the game. You can custom make a tape, which yes, you can do with standard scopes too, but this one is geared so it, you know, instead of rotating so many times and trying to count and see where you are, it just takes a lot of that away and makes it a lot simpler. So really cool scope. Best to check that out online. But what really caught my eye was the MTC Rapier Ballistic Rangefinder. This thing's pretty cool. You input your ballistic data for what you're shooting, and it automatically tells you where to aim through the viewfinder. So that's pretty cool, because it takes, again, MTC is kind of taking the thinking out of the game, where, you know, you pop a target and it's 75 yards, this thing's going to tell you you're going to hold over 1.2 mils. And when I say it's going to tell you, I mean it's literally going to tell you. You connect it to your phone or your smartwatch, and it actually comes with a little earpiece that it will just talk to you.
16 yards down, 0.5 mils.
And you take your shot. I think that's really cool. I think instead of, you know, 75, what was my number for 75? What was my holdover? How many clicks? You know, what was I, you know, all that stuff. It does all that for you, and it's done. And so I really like it. I'm going to have one of these eventually. Not everything is wonderful in peaches and creams. Versapod. I thought it would have been cool because I liked how the legs locked in place. But when I started to look into it, you know, it uses this post off the bottom of your gun, which, you know, it's going to raise the front of your gun up a little bit even farther, but, you know, kind of like they don't want to work without that adapter. So, you know, like if you've got a sling stud on the front of your stock, you can get a Harris bipod and just screw it right on. There's no adapters, there's no nothing. If you've got a Picatinny rail, you can take an Atlas or an Accutac and just, you know, put it on. This seems to have to want, either it gets bolted on or maybe, oh, there's Picatinny rail mounts in here. Okay, so it does have Picatinny rail mounts, but to use it how they want you to use it, where you go from this gun to that gun to that gun to that gun, they kind of want you to use this post system, and it's like, to me, it was like, well, so I need an adapter for my adapter to use your bipod, and, you know, I don't want to do that. I just want to put a bipod on. I don't want to put another piece of equipment on there so I can put your piece of equipment on there. So I kind of was like, nah, maybe they're nice quality, maybe some of you guys use them, you like them, good for you, if they work for you, but I wasn't very overly impressed with the VersaPod. Brocock was there at the Day State booth as well. They've got the new Bantam MK2 Sniper Highlight. I'm pretty excited about that. I don't have a picture of one in the magazine here, but here's a picture for you guys to check it out. Carbon fiber bottle, looks like silenced. It's pretty, you know, rough edges because this was a prototype model. What I dug about this was when I heard about the numbers coming from it, which was somewhere like 130 or 150 shots per fill, and then regulated, so it's going to be consistent from start to finish. That is, in my opinion, that's screaming, go to a dairy farm and eradicate an infestation of pigeons. A nice, lightweight, accurate little gun like that to bring out to like a farm or dairy something and just sit there and plink and pest all day long, or, you know, target shooting all day long. You know, 100 and something shots is a lot of shooting. So I'm excited to see what comes up on the forums when people start getting those in their hands. I think they're going to be pretty pleased about it. Caliber gun was there. Now, I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to say Capybara. I may be wrong. I don't know. You know, Caliber Gun's been coming out with some good models. The Cricket in the past, and now this is their latest one. Integrated magazine holder into the stock. I always like that in any gun. I just always like having magazines that just slide right into the stock somewhere. Interesting looking little gun. Multi-shot, semi-auto. I said semi-auto. That's pretty cool. CAA. This has nothing to do with air guns. But, like I said, this is my SHOT Show experience and some of the things that I liked. So, I'm going to go over real quick. They got this little gem right here. And this is kind of a little, I don't even know. It's not a bullpup. What I dig about it is right here is a Glock pistol. So you take your Glock pistol and you slap it in here, and it becomes this little, what do you call that, carbine maybe? I think that's pretty cool to turn it into, to give it a buttstock and give you that little added bit of accuracy to it. And, oh, here's a fold up. Oh, they all fold up. This one here, which is pretty cool. Same kind of concept, except the Glock is way back here, and you get a 16-inch barrel to put into your Glock. So now you've got your pistol that you've just kind of turned into a, you know, a carbine, a little rifle. So really digging that. That's kind of cool. I don't know if I'll get one, but I really like the concept. The MTC rapier ballistic.